Good day, EWTN watchers. This is Father Richard Holong, presenting to you our third of 6 talks and dialogue about the Lenten themes. I want you to take a look at the Gospel of St. John, chapter 4, verses 31 to 42. Meanwhile, the disciples urged him, "Rabbi, eat." But he said to them, "I have food to eat of which you do not know." So the disciples said to one another, "Could someone have brought him something to eat?" Jesus said to them, "My food is to do the will of the one who sent me and to finish his work. Do you not say, 'In 4 months the harvest will be here'? I tell you, look up and see the fields ripe for the harvest. The reaper is already receiving his payment and gathering crops for eternal life, so that the sower and reaper can rejoice together. For here the saying is verified, that one sows and another reaps. I sent you to reap what you have not yet worked for. Others have done the work, and you are sharing the fruits of their work." Many of the Samaritans of that town began to believe in him because of the word of the woman who testified, "He told me everything I have done." When the Samaritans came to him, they invited him to stay with them, and he stayed there 2 days. Many more began to believe in him because of his word. And they said to the woman, "We no longer believe because of your word, for we have heard for ourselves, and we know that this is truly the Savior of the world." The amazing depth of this passage strikes me. The whole matter of this food. My food is to do the work of the Father. You would think work would not feed you, but the work would make you hungry. And yet, here Jesus is saying, "I'm going to give you food that will give you sustenance, it will give you energy, and so forth." Of course, the disciples, they simply want to have something to eat. But Jesus always seems to be talking about some other need that you have more than your quest all the time for the food, the drink, the clothes, the table, the shoes. What's this all about? Do you think that Christ has any idea how important it is that we have these things in order to survive on the face of the earth? Yes.
Remember,
yes,
he says, Father said, Jesus said, "Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all these other things." So he is definitely cognizant of the things we need for our physical lives. But oftentimes we misplace the emphasis, or the priority is always the material things, to the detriment of the spiritual life. So again, putting this in Lent, Holy Mother Church is again focusing on most essential spiritual food. yes, we need to eat, but oftentimes it becomes self-indulgent. It becomes greed, it becomes avarice, it becomes selfishness.
And also you can do without it anyway. People believe that the worst thing can happen to you is that you're hungry, but the Lord is really saying the worst thing that can happen to you is that you don't have me at the center of your life. And I can testify to that it's true. There is nothing that could fill us with such an assurance about life and a goal in life that is totally and completely meaningful. I find you go through all kinds of bumps during life, and you meet all kinds of people. Some people are wicked, some people are very good. Sometimes you yourself find yourself sinning and doing wrong things, and right away you find out, to your astonishment, Jesus still loves you and calls you back to Him. But this food now, to do the will of the Father, however, is really, really strange. How can you not want food after working? This is all very strange.
Plenty of people follow Jesus for the fish and the bread, Father.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
But what Jesus is saying is that there is something beyond that. And is it not true in our own experience that all of us seek after something more than the trappings of mortal existence, more than the food, more than whatever it is that we have and think is indispensable? Our hearts yearn for something else. They yearn to reach out. And I think this is part of what he's saying, or this is what he's saying here. And also, he advises us against some of the things you just mentioned, the greed, the avarice. Can you imagine what percentage of our population is obese? Yes? The statistic is that 40% of the food in the developed world is wasted every day, despite the fact that 1 billion and more people have no food sufficient for their existence. Yes? Simple logic won't take you to make the necessary changes, but a deep sense of the worth of life, the purpose of life, the food beyond the food, yes, it has impelled missionaries around the world for centuries. It has impelled an outreach with that same spirit from one nation to the next. Not enough, perhaps, only fitfully, unfortunately, but it is from that deep spirit, it seems to me, that so much of goodness in this world is to be found. And we mustn't worry about who sowed and who reaped. Many of us are holding on to the fact that you hear this notion of legacy.
Yes.
And who gets the credit?
Yes.
Now, Jesus is saying, look, we're free. Yes?
Yes.
Each one of us plays our part, don't we?
Right.
Yes?
Right.
And if we do what we do without counting the reward or considering the reward, how much more can be achieved than when we are trying to hog up the credit for everything?
Right. The work of the Father it is very strange, I find, how it feeds you. But we have many visitors that come here, and when they come here, they believe that they will be doing great work, wonderful work, and so forth. And almost to a person, they say, I have received more than I have given.
I have received more than I have given.
Yes.
That is the food wherewith you know not of.
Right.
That's the food beyond the bread and the drink.
Yes. And another point they would make is that I need food to go back to my country in order to survive.
What does that mean, Father?
Very strange, Hayden. Father Hayden, you have heard that very often.
Yes,
no?
yes.
I need food.
And
there is a soul.
Right.
No?
They come. Many come for that period of like 5 days, 10 days, 2 weeks, every year. And they say, this sustains me. And priests, many priests come. This sustains my priesthood, this sustains my Christian life for the next year. This food.
Why?
Well, this is Christ
doing the work of the Father. It's so mysterious. Yes. It's very, very strange.
Humility, teaching them self-sacrifice, simplicity of life, prayer,
love,
community. They get to meet their fellow pilgrims, many for the first time, and so forth. The brothers' lives. But that's the food that they take back, because they invariably say they will go back. And they will bring others too. They will bring others, or they will be able to deal with their families in a different way, or their issues in a different way.
Popular culture will call that a mystic high. But that's good.
Yes.
But that's tremendous. And it's a gift that you all offer to those who at the outset might be thought of as giving you a gift.
Yes.
And what a reciprocity, Father.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right. That evens it and makes it holy.
Well, they say, what I have given is nothing compared to what I have received, they would say. And you would say, okay, we brought things, or our skills, or our know-how, and so forth. And it's good that they bring these things too. We need these things. But more so now, they say that what I have received is far, far greater than what I have given. And we should thank you, not you thanking us.
As a Jamaican, I'm proud to hear that. Yes, because it means that we are not culturing dependency. Yes, that there is a oneness in the spirit, and that we have something to give, despite material insufficiency. There is a return that we can make on those who offer themselves. Isn't there a deeper lesson, Father, that when you reach out beyond your confines to give, whether it is money or your time or best still your love, yes, you always get it back.
Yes, 100-fold. It's amazing.
Yes.
A lady said to me,
tell us the stories, please.
I don't know what's happening to me, but I don't want to go home. I want to stay here. I am so happy and I'm so free. My mind is not bound up with so many worries and concerns from day to day. But I am working. I'm working every day. I still have to rise in the morning and go to Mass and have my meditation, go down to the centers and, feed the hungry and bring them to the toilet and wipe up the beds and sweep the floors and so forth and so on. But I'm very happy, I'm so joyful. I can't do this back home. And it has made me think about the evangelization that is done on such a basic level, that this is really the Word of God being said to their hearts, It does not surprise you,
It does.
Deacon?
It does.
Yes.
I'm thinking of something else, though. Just the meaning of Jesus' ministry to the Samaritan people. And I worry that sometimes we who are the children of the church get so tied up with observances and religiosity and rules and regulations. They have their place, but we get so tied up with almost becoming a total institution that we find it difficult to break out and achieve the freedom that you describe of that pilgrim. Yes? And we must always be able to do that,
Well, James says that the essence of religion, of true religion, is taking care of the
widows,
and the orphans. But we do get lost. I find that the outward appearances of what seems to be religion is excessively emphasized, and we get lost, and you find that you're in a treadmill, that you're just repetition. But when you deal with people, your heart is expanded, and you find there is an area in your heart that has not been awakened. That is, you are finding Christ in the poor. You're discovering a whole area of yourself that is longing for God in a different way than, let us say, the piety or even the sacraments.
Or even the sacraments.
Yes.
These are not ends in themselves. These are strengths that carry you beyond.
Yes.
The sacraments make most sense to me when I'm desperate, when I've worked in the vineyard and I'm so exhausted that I need forgiveness,
Yes.
food, yes, water, living water, companionship.
Yes, yes, very much. And you know, I think that our EWTN watchers should really take a look at the way the Lord emphasized his vocation. I have come to bring good news to the poor. And then he enumerates prisoners and he talks about the blind and the deaf. And that will enrich you way beyond any other piety could ever offer to you. Yes, the piety, but on the other hand, the encounter with people, the discovery of Christ in other people, especially the poorest and the most forgotten and the sinners, but also you will find within yourself a whole new area of growth in your soul.
But Father, I find the combination is what is truly wonderful. When the holy practices, whether it is the Rosary, the Chaplet of Mercy, the novenas, the holy hours,
the sacraments.
Yes, it is when they are either the prelude or the postlude of the intense activity. Yes, in the marketplace, in your ministries, in your home, in the difficult situations, wherever you are. It is then that those things take on most meaning. Yes, where you get strength to carry on. Some people ask, why do you go to Mass so often? Well, because I have the busiest day and the most demanding things to do. And if I don't do that, where will I get the strength?
Right,
Yes?
right. The living bread.
Yes.
One of the paradoxes that is mentioned by many of the pilgrims who come from other countries, and they come and they spend this time with us and they receive that food. We're talking about the food that is not just the physical food. The joy, I think, is on the menu of that. The joy they see in the faces, in the lives, in the actions of the very people whom they thought were suffering, broken, unfortunate, and yes, they came to feed them, they came to make them happy, and that was not the case. It's just the reverse, that these people have made them happy, because they also come with their anxieties, with their worries, with their own, their own hopes and dreams and so on. And I think that's what also happens, Father, when Jesus is talking about the food that we should seek in this post-sacramental or pre-sacramental activity we take to our relationships, our friendships, our workplaces, I think that's what has happened here in this passage.
But also, I find when you're selfless and you no longer have the burden of yourself to carry and your ambitions and goals, you're really unburdened and freed. Your mind is no longer cluttered by all these material concerns and so forth. And you're not absorbed in your own needs and that of your family, but rather you have transcended yourself. You've gone beyond yourself. And it's that otherness that is so strongly revelatory of God, the thou. And selflessness is different, of course, from selfishness. Self-concern is a very, very huge burden. But when you have found meaning and purpose, and you're outer directed rather than purely inwardly directed, there's a freedom, I think, that you really experience. Yes.
I sent you to reap what you haven't worked for. Others have done the work, and you are sharing the fruits of their work. I'd like to encourage our listeners to appreciate the gift which so many other people are to my life and your life. We share, but they have worked. I think particularly about women, you know, our mothers. So often the mothers that are watching us, the women who sacrifice themselves in religion or in family, by definition and by watching our Blessed Mother, a mother who is motherhood and selfishness can't go together. Just can't. Yes. The tremendous need for the willingness to give without counting the cost, to allow others to take credit, as we said, for what you have labored on. That's what many mothers do, you know. Their children, others outside, benefit from that which they will never be rewarded for in this life.
Yes. Yes.
And they give it freely. I'm picking up on both of you. They give it with joy and almost an abandon sometimes. The notion of the me first generation is antithetical. It's contrary to the message of this story, to the ethic of the Christian.
Yes, yes, yes. And what an example from Christ when he hangs on the cross and he's beaten, scorned, mocked. His feet are torn with nails, his hands likewise, and a crown of thorns on his head, and bleeding.
Physical debasement at its worst.
Total and complete pain, and all he could say is, Father, forgive them. Yeah. They know not what they do.
And you will understand why the deacon remembers St. Stephen.
Yes.
Yes. Being battered by stones. How many times in life do we feel that everybody is reaching out to hurt us, to put us down, to vilify us? And he says they don't know really what they're doing. Forgive them.
Right.
And there's a lyric there, because he is in fact can only have the strength to do what his master did. And therefore that's why Lent and the Triduum is so important, because it typifies that ideal, that ultimate gift that each of us must in our own way try to emulate.
Right. That the giving of ourselves entirely.
Yeah.
And self-forgetfulness.
Yeah.
Which is a marvelous type of freedom.
Yeah.
That that the world is driving away from us.
And going back to the text, though, I can only identify with the stumbling disciples.
Yes.
Don't understand a thing that's going on here.
Well, yes, again, the food. They're thinking that he's going for food
Absolutely.
for his own satisfaction.
Yes. And they're still in their minds that this man is going to remake a kingdom and fight Herod and kill Pilate. Yes, but they're captivated nonetheless, despite all of their short-sightedness. They're captivated by this person who is able to touch the hearts of the hardest and most encrusted sinner, the Samaritan woman, and is even willing to go into the house of the Samaritans. Can you imagine their scandal?
2 days.
Can they imagine their scandal? My dear, what are you doing coming to Father Holland's ministry in Jamaica? You? What are you doing there? And yes, it is there, you say, that so many find themselves, feel freedom, experience joy, and want to come back. So it is in the least of circumstances.
Some are atheists and they can do it. Yeah, we get atheists, we get people who don't believe in God.
Yes.
But by the time they leave, well, they become agnostic, perhaps. They have begun the journey of belief.
That's wonderful.
Yes. Yeah.
And leave the rest to the flowing living water.
Right. To continue converting them, transforming them. Yeah.
Well, EWTN watchers, continue to meditate on that wonderful passage, chapter 4 of the Gospel of St. John, verses 32 to 42. God bless you.